right, so there we go. Hi, Cassidy. Who else is here? Someone else is here. I'm going to say hi. Chris and Edna. Okay, great. Hi. So, waking up heavy and depressed. Has anyone been there? I mean, my gosh, I have been there so much in my life through the years that it was something that was very confusing to me. How can I have this good night's sleep and then all of a sudden just wake up with this dread and heaviness and just depressed feeling? And what's so cool these days is that I can switch it. If I do wake up with that heaviness, all of a sudden I know how to expand from that. And if I can do that, really anyone can, because I have been a pretty intense and heavy, have a heaviness throughout my life that I was always kind of like, what is this? And where I would go through like months of depression, especially around winter time. You know, my husband would catch me just kind of doing this with the Netflix. I would just just seclude myself, and just that depression. It's hard, and it's hard to be around people when you feel that way. So I don't know. I think this is a topic that maybe we can all relate to. And has anyone been depressed before? Felt that? And so lately, what happens when I wake up and feel that heaviness and that depression? It happened this morning. I am around a lot of people. I give Reiki to a lot of people. I'm around nursing homes. I'm around a lot of energy. And what I've noticed with using Reiki is that it's a very high frequency energy so what happens is it starts to entrain the energy that's maybe I'm marinating in or that I'm around with my work, and helps me kind of, go to a different space of being. So sometimes when I sleep at night, I don't know what's going on. I'm a very unclear sleeper. I have no idea what's happening in my sleep, where some people have lucid dreams, right? That's just really not me. I don't know what happened, but I know I had a day full of clients yesterday. I had some stuff on my mind. I'm also doing a sound healing practice that's bringing up a lot of that pain body energy, so maybe that's clearing up. But hi Katie, I woke up kind of depressed and feeling this like heaviness, like all right through here. And when I feel that lately, when I wake up, I make a commitment to be like, I'm not getting out of bed until this shifts. That's what I do. I make that commitment. And one of the things I do is use my Reiki, just place my hands here and here, and just start to shift the energy. Other things I've done are just to be like, wow, what if ask that question that was right at the beginning of the post here, is just like, what if this depression didn't have to be a whole day sentence? What if this is just going to be right here, right now? What if this is not who I am? What if this is just a little energy that I kind of caught like a little cold and it could just kind of be like, see you later. I love this topic lately of the authentic self. Because here we are, here's this reservoir of the authentic self, right? This space of being that we always are. And it's just always there. And when this heaviness kind of sits there, the heaviness isn't us. It's this authentic beingness that's us. So when this shows up, we can rest assured, be like, I know this isn't me, so what is it? Where does it want to go? Who does it belong to? What frequency can I align with that's different than the heaviness that'll help kind of cancel it out or shift it up? Or what does this heaviness have to tell me? What information does it have? Sometimes it's just a little awareness that this heaviness is there to give information. It's the energy system of your body, and it's right below a physical symptom. Our bodies give these physical symptoms, right? Whether it's a cold or pain, a physical pain, or the body gives these physical, hey, pay attention. But just below the physical information is the energetic information. And this is the place where I seem to be really aware of. So I love that I can be aware of this energetic before it goes into my body. I have been to the ER and urgent care so many times through the years thinking that thinking I had a heart issue, a gallbladder issue, and they can't find anything. And what I've noticed is that it's in my energy body giving me information before it heads into my physical. So I'm really grateful for my sensitivities. And sometimes, waking up with the sensitivities it's just something to learn how to work with. And so if you're one of those people that wakes up heavy and feels like a density or an intensity or a depression, perhaps it's your energy body saying, hey, I want to give you this information. Or, hey, you accumulated this frequency throughout the night, maybe in your dream as we process and work through things, or maybe from a different dimension. Yeah, we go different places, in our dreams. So whatever accumulated, or whether, during the nighttime, liver detoxing happens. So if your liver is bringing something up, guess what happens from the liver? A lot of anger kind of sits in the liver. So maybe that detoxed and came into your energy system. And so what we want to do is get a tool, get a technique, be present with it, and learn how to get back to that reservoir of authentic beingness. And so it's not a whole day, week, month sentence of depression. So if you're aware of your energy system before it gets into the physical, and you start to ask some questions around it. What is this? Who does this belong to? What message does this have? You can go there. You can go that route. Lately, what I like to do is just, ask, what is this? What's information's here, and then expand it out. So you can take the information and just expand it. You can also send it up to consciousness. And so I work with the Reiki energy. So I send it up to, in Reiki we call it third heaven, highest consciousness. I just send this up to highest consciousness. And I put a high frequency energy. Now, if you haven't been attuned or have the placements of Reiki yet, you can just get your hands flowing gratitude. Gratitude's a very high frequency. That's not part of our human experience, okay? So gratitude comes in, and we get to turn that energy on. Isn't that cool? So turn gratitude on. If you don't have Reiki, turn gratitude on. Let that high frequency just sit on the heaviness and just be like, yeah, what would it take to have a different experience right now? And in sound healing, we call that entrainment, where you take two different frequencies, a lower frequency and a higher frequency, and you entrain the lower frequency to the higher frequency. Another thing that I've done in bed too is just start toning some high frequency, kind of some angelic sounds, or just an oming. And so I have made this commitment after having months of depression through the years, that actually made this commitment last January. I was just like, no more. If I'm heavy and depressed, I do not get out of bed until I get it shifted. And I use my tools. And so how many of us have had spiritual tools, personal practices, inspiration? We have all this stuff that we've, through our personal growth interests, we have all these tools, right? We have all this information, but we really don't use it consistently. I have definitely been there. And, 7 years ago, I remember being in a state of depression, being like, why don't I actually just use the tools that I just spent thousands of dollars learning? So I chose to just start using them a lot. And now, and there was another phase of that last January when I committed to not drink for a whole year, and I'm almost there. I haven't drank in a year. And I committed myself to not getting out of bed until I was lighter, how it really tuned into that authentic beingness, and using whatever tool it took, whether it was Reiki, Access Consciousness, breath work, yoga, singing. I have Course in Miracles. I law of attraction. I have studied them all. All of this stuff is super interesting to me. Hey, Megan. Um, and it's super interesting to me because I've had a challenging time in life with my moods and my emotions, and I really wanted to learn. I knew in down deep that there was something else, and that there was a deeper reservoir of peace, a deeper reservoir of ease and knowing. And for some reason, I just knew that. And all these little, like, I don't know, little Easter eggs, like, kind of picked up along the way that had a little, nuggets of knowledge and tools has gotten me to this point where I can, start switching up the depression and heaviness if I wake up that way, probably within, 10 minutes to an hour. So some days, it takes a little longer, but it's, yay, yes. Oh, I love you too, Megan. Thank you. So that's what I wanted to share. What if the depression, the heaviness doesn't have to be a life sentence, and we can switch it? And there are tools and practices that have nothing to do with being the authentic self. Okay, it has nothing to do with it, but they're little tricks to remind us, oh, I'm not separate from here. And so there is on my walk today, I had this discovery of like the difference between believing and knowing. We are like, if you believe it, then it comes true, right? What you think is real. Henry Ford said, whether you think you are or think you're not, you can't. Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, Henry Ford said, you're right. So that's that believing thing. But there's something even deeper and like a fine-tuned frequency under that. That's knowing. That is knowing, and that is that authentic self. That knowingness, where you don't have to believe or think anything. You just walk in and it's like, hey, I'll sing that note, or hey, I'll do this, or I'm just gonna get out of bed feeling good. That's what I know. And so there's a different frequency. There's a different frequency between knowing and believing. And knowing is that authentic self. Believing goes into the emotional, mental body, the witness body, but that deeper sense of connecting into what we really are, that is knowing. And through the years, and I think it's been about 2.5, 3 years now that I've been studying and experiencing Reiki. Reiki is just kind of that authentic self, as a Japanese word. And it's a nugget of consciousness that Mikao Usui found on the mountaintop after 21 days of his path to enlightenment. He got he received this healing ability. And basically what he did was he received the expanded version of our authentic self that we all can get to, that we all have the possibility to experience. Although Mikao Usui was willing to die trying to find it and have that unwavering sense of peace, right? And he was willing to do any practice, anything to get there, and he did. He went to the top of the mountain and refused to leave until it showed up, and probably was starving, dehydrating, and boom, like it showed up. And that's how he passed on in the 20s. This Reiki, this spiritually guided life force energy that's we all have. But do we have it so it's ever living and expanding, this energy. And so when we get our placements and when we do Reiki training, we get that seed of where that enlightenment that Usui had found. So, and perhaps we're not where he was at the top of the mountain, but we get a seed of that, right? And so whether we're practicing anything, and so the cool part about waking up depressed is that I tune into that seed of Reiki and I expand it, and there it is, that reservoir of authentic self. And perhaps gratitude can help you with that, asking questions around what this heaviness is. So this is where I like to play first thing in the morning. if you're curious about that reservoir of authentic self and beingness, I do have a winter online program called the Authentic You, the winter mentorship program. There is an Evite going around, so I'd love to share that with you. Anyway, what if today could just be this beautiful unfolding of possibility and tuning into the reservoir of your bliss, of your knowing, beyond trust, beyond confidence, beyond believing. You just know. You have total ease, total joy. And it really is a choice. It really is a choice there to get there. And each morning, sometimes it's hard to make that choice. But make a commitment. I'm not getting out of this bed until I can choose my authentic self, which is that reservoir of ease and joy. And see what happens. See what happens if you make that commitment to yourself. And what if depression and heaviness didn't have to be the sentence for the day, the week, the month? And I know it's a tough place. Sometimes when we're really caught in it, it's a tough place. And so if you need support, there's always support, whether it's me or some other coach or spiritual coach online. There's always help if depression is something that you go through and you can't seem to kick it. And there is support, so always keep reaching out. So, all right, everybody, have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow. I think this is number 9 out of 30, so I'll see you tomorrow with another topic that bubbles up for me. Bye.